In June of 1967, on the doorstep of the Western Wall in the Old City of Jerusalem, an Israeli bulldozer clears Palestinian homes. Israel had just won the Six-Day War against a coalition of Arab states, including Egypt, Syria, and Jordan, and in the process, expanded its borders by occupying East Jerusalem, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. It marked the start of a decades-long effort to seize or demolish Palestinian properties in the occupied territories, and in their place, establish Israeli settlements. For years, these settlements swelled as hundreds of thousands of Israelis moved into new homes and Palestinians were displaced. Today, there are 144 settlements in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, which are considered illegal under international law. That's not to mention the over 100 Israeli outposts, some of which aren't even legal under Israeli law. The number of Jewish settlers in these areas now exceeds 800,000. Despite strong international opposition to construction, settlements in recent months are expanding at faster rates and cropping up in new areas. Israel's new far-right government, driven by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, and Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, have placed settlement expansion among the government's top priorities.
They are saying what was barely the quiet part before, very much out loud now. It has put the Biden administration in a clearly very difficult position because the Biden administration clearly does not actually want to shift and change the way that it is relating to the Israeli government.
Moving to the settlements is a popular sell for some Israelis who are enticed to these areas because of their significantly lower housing costs. And some say they are continuing in the work of Israel's original pioneers or reclaiming a biblical homeland. The land of Israel belongs to the people of Israel. This is the property of our ancestors. I say to Americans and Europeans, stop worrying. This is our mission. This our doctrine. 9 settlements are nice, but it's still not enough. We want much more. But the international community has regarded these settlements as illegal and blamed their expansion for hampering the Israeli-Palestinian peace process. This expansion is inflaming an already volatile situation. This year is on track to be the deadliest in the West Bank in 2 decades, with more than 60 Palestinians killed by Israeli soldiers and settlers. At least 14 Israelis have been killed in attacks by Palestinians.
There's always been impunity, but the sense that people, are more emboldened. There's no history of any of these settlers really facing any blowback, and does not appear to be any change in that.
And the violence is spreading. On February 26th, after 2 Israeli brothers were shot and killed, hundreds of settlers rampaged through the Palestinian town of Hawara, torching dozens of homes and businesses. The United States has for years pressed Israel to curb settlement expansion, but critics argue that Washington's words have rarely been met with action. At the Jordanian coastal city of Aqaba on February 26th, King Abdullah hosted leaders from Israel, the Palestinian Authority, Egypt, and the U.S. to discuss the West Bank's escalating violence. A joint statement issued after the summit shared that Israel had committed to halting new settlement projects. Hours after the statement was released, however, members of Israel's governing coalition denied the freeze. Among the rebuffs was Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who tweeted, "There is not and will not be any freeze." The State Department said it expected Israel would abide to its original commitment at the Jordanian summit.
That's the one that we stand behind and that we hope and expect the parties will fulfill.
The friction between Israel and the U.S. on settlement expansion could now harm the Biden administration's efforts to work with Israel on other issues, like dealing with Iran. And Washington's often stated dream of a 2-state solution may no longer be a reality.
There really is no 2-state solution anymore. It continues to be sort of what politicians talk about, despite the fact that that really is a huge disconnect from what's actually on the ground right now.